Okay, so it's been a week since eldenringnightreign dropped, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I've managed to beat all the Nightlord bosses in multiplayer and I'm currently playing it solo. But in the meantime, I wanted to go ahead and rank all the bosses. Well, the Nightlords from easiest to hardest, because these guys are super hard. Like really hard. Like I don't know whether to blame myself or my teammates type of hard. One thing I do want to say though is that this is just about my experience, and since this game is so RNG based, obviously everyone's gonna have different opinions on the boss's difficulty, so don't take my word as absolute. Anyways, without wasting any more of your time, let's start with the least hardest in my opinion. Sentient Pest. Definitely one of the more easier Nightlords, possibly the easiest Nightlord. I don't even remember what this thing even does. All I remember is that there's two enemies with a shared health bar, the scorpion and the butterfly moth thingy. Its poison vapor can be a bit annoying to deal with, but that's the only thing I really remember about them. And maybe in solo it's harder since you have to focus on two enemies at once, but in co-op, it's definitely not going to be a huge challenge, even if you have very mid-ass teammates. Like y'all don't even have to be crazy good, just a mid at best team and you will still have no issues with this Nightlord whatsoever. However, I do think that this boss is better with Iron Eye because of the fact that it flies around a lot, but still not hard by any means. Gaping Jaw. This boss didn't even give me and the randoms that I was playing with a hard time. Actually, I think we beat it first try. Now, while I didn't struggle with it in multiplayer, solo might be a different story. I definitely did find his charge attacks pretty annoying since he has a huge hitbox, and it's kind of hard to dodge him at point blank range. But despite all of this, I did find it easier to manage compared to Gladius. Next up we have Libra. So far I've only fought this guy on multiplayer and I don't think I'll ever fight it solo. Okay, maybe I will as a challenge run, but still I don't think this guy would be fun fighting alone. He's extremely aggressive and his main source of attacks are frenzied based, and we all know how fun those are to deal with. Now what I did find interesting about him is the fact that as soon as you enter his arena, he doesn't attack you outright, but instead he offers you a deal, whether you want better weapons, an extra flask, all of that stuff. However, while I'm not 100% sure, I've read somewhere that if you accept anything from him, you will get a debuff of some sort, but on my run I didn't take the risk. So yeah, all that aside, how is it fighting him? Well again, he's super aggressive, and as an Iron Eye main, this means this dude will just be on my ass the entire time. Like damn bro, leave me alone. Now in terms of moveset, there's a lot. He has one where he summons a frenzied blast from the ground through a sigil, another where he hides behind a bubble shield. For this one, all you have to do is just attack the sigils around him or use an ultimate. What makes him particularly difficult is the fact that he doesn't seem to have a cooldown between his attacks. While other Nightlords, maybe except for like one or two, have a cooldown period, he just seems to spam as much frenzied magic back to back as possible. Having to dodge 3 attacks in the span of 2 to 3 seconds, that's a lot. Now in terms of visuals, this may come off as a bit controversial or unpopular opinion, but he definitely gets last place in my, just for me. The design isn't bad or anything, but it looks more like an overworld Elden Ring boss, if you know what I mean. He just doesn't have that full-on Nightlord look. I guess you can say his design is a bit generic. I mean, he just looks like a generic demon. I don't know what else to say. And I just don't like the look of some of his frenzied-based attacks. But yeah, Libra is definitely not a cakewalk. Dude is for sure difficult. Caliggo, Miasma of the Night. The fuck is a miasma? Okay, so it either means this thing smells like horse shit or it's just that his aura is menacing. I don't know. Either way, he's your typical Elden Ring dragon fight, but definitely not as basic as the field ones. He's what I like to call a special dragon, just like Plasudasax, Bale, Fortisax, the only dragons with actual aura. Anyways, his moveset isn't too hard to counter. His Frost Breath though can be really annoying to deal with. I didn't die to him many times on multiplayer, maybe like once or twice, but it was mostly due to the Frost Breath. But apart from that, I don't really know what else to say. Again, he's just a dragon with a fairly straightforward moveset. Still don't think he's a pushover though. Speaking of not being a pushover, we have Gladius. So in terms of difficulty, this guy, or should I say these guys, are definitely up there. While I wouldn't say it's the hardest, he definitely gives off Margit vibes where despite being the first true boss of the game, he's gonna show more difficulty compared to some of the other ones that come after. I deadass thought Cerberus' rejected cousin here would be the end of me. I swear all the randoms that I was playing with had no idea what they were doing. And I can't really blame them because I started on having no idea as well. And the fact that this guy is the first Nightlord means that all the new players will have to fight him, so it does make sense why the team synergy isn't there. And speaking about randoms, FromSoft. Why in the year of 2025 don't we have crossplay, or at least add a voice chat? Look, for the other games I could excuse not having a voice chat, but come on, for a game that's preferably multiplayer, I think it should almost be a must, or at least give us some way of communication. Anyway, that aside, the fight itself is gonna be hard, mostly because of the health pool, just like all the other Nightlords. But something that really makes it a bit more difficult than the other two Nightlords that comes after is its aggression and speed. I swear, compared to some of the other bosses, this one shows way more aggression. Again, some, but despite its health and aggression, the moveset isn't too difficult to get used to. He usually has some basic swings with his sword that can cover a large distance, but isn't hard to dodge at all. However, when he splits into 3, this can cause some slight issues, especially if you're on solo play. If you're playing it solo, it's best to just run away from them until they get back to normal. But yeah, Gladius is for sure one of the more challenging Nightreign bosses. Are you a fan of Consort Radahn and the other horsemen in Elden Ring? Well, good for you, because now you can fight both at the same time in the form of Folore. Okay, so obviously Folore has no connection to Radahn, at least none that I know of. But his design definitely looks like it came into the dev's mind. But design aside, this man kicked my ass so many times. I swear I've died to him more than I would like to admit. And this is with people. Imagine how it would be on solo. The main thing that makes him difficult is his second phase moveset. Cause phase 1, sure, it can be a bit overwhelming at first, but you'll get used to his attacks and AoEs after one try. But his second phase? Man, like holy shit, bro starts doing what I like to call bullshit attack mode, where his hands get infected or some shit and he starts jizzing everywhere with his dark fluids. Speaking of arms, why does almost every other Souls boss have an oversized left arm? I don't know, I just think that's interesting. The unpredictability and the wide area of impact makes it very hard to dodge these arm attacks. I think you're a bit safer by dodging them point blank range, but still, he managed to hit me a couple times even when I did this. His bull charge attack with the holy AoE aftershock can be a bit tricky to deal with as well. So yeah, because of all the bullshit, this dude is definitely the third hardest boss in my opinion. I do love his design a lot though. Augur. Fuck Augur. This has to be the worst Nightlord in the entire game. Dare I say, this might be bottom 5 worst Souls bosses of all time. I mean seriously, what were they thinking making this piece of shit? Especially with the sleep attack. Honestly, that and the teardrop attack gotta be contenders for the worst boss attacks ever. No, seriously, these two attacks suck ass. First of all, the sleep. I swear, no matter how far I run, I still get procced. And not only that, I've read that you have to attack it when it's doing it, and honestly, that still barely does anything because again, our attacks are basically tickling the bosses. But I've realized that saving up your ultimate is the best option when it comes on to dealing with it, as one hit from an ultimate is strong enough to stun it from proccing sleep. However, that's easier said than done because some of the Nightfarers' ultimates requires them to be up close and personal. But every time Augur is about to do this, it usually flies away as far as possible. The teardrop attack can at least be avoided by running far away. Honestly, whoever made this boss needs to get some jail time because, like on some real shit, why would you make this stupid ass fucking boss? Now, negativity aside, I do like the design of it, but shit, that's all the praise it's gonna get from me. This fight sucks ass, and also fuck the little worm things that it summons from the ground. Okay, I'm done talking about this trash ass boss. But yeah, this Nightlord took me a lot of tries, even in multiplayer. And it's for sure the second hardest boss in the game, mostly because of bullshit. Like I swear, it's not even hard. It's like, bro, you can barely, it doesn't even fucking attack you most of the time, except for the water shit and the stupid ass worms. It's just super tanky, and he has 2 bullshit attacks. That's it. He holster the Nightlord. This man is insanely hard. But for some reason, at least on multiplayer, I had a slightly easier time handling him with randoms compared to Augur and the Centaur dude. I haven't fought him on solos yet, but still, I placed him here because the last team I had, the dudes were super good at the game, so it felt like I got carried. But before I talk about this guy's difficulty, let's admire his amazing moveset and visuals. Out of all the Nightlords, he, in my opinion, looked the coolest. And don't get me wrong, the designs of the Nightlords are spectacular. But you know me, I'm a big sucker for swordsman bosses, and this guy is definitely one of the cooler ones for sure. He's like a mix between Artorias, Radahn, and Gale. He also has 3 weapons, one of them being the Moonlight Greatsword. Now in terms of difficulty, again, he's really hard due to him having 2 whole health pools. Now to be fair though, the first one isn't as large, but the second one definitely is like super huge. It's almost like you're tickling him anytime you do an attack. Yeah, when they said that this game is definitely designed for 3 people, I definitely see why now. Another really cool but difficult part about his fight is his moveset. Visually, they're the best I've ever seen on a boss, and even beating out spectacles like Elden Beast, Meteor, and Estelle. Luckily, his basic attacks doesn't feel hard to dodge, but some of them like his big AoE ones can be a bit tricky to deal with. But still, despite him having a crazy moveset, I do think his attacks are easier to deal with compared to guys like Folore and Libra. So most of the difficulty comes from him having a super large health pool. But still, I do think he's definitely one of the more enjoyable Nightlords, and I'm gonna attempt to fight him solo with Wild or Executor. So that was it for my ranking for all the bosses in Nightreign. Honestly, again, this game was really amazing. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. And hey, if you guys want more Nightreign content like this, then be sure to like and subscribe. Anyways, have a good one.